don't know if we live, but I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to do one thing. Always forgetting to do one thing. Matter of fact, this is more than one thing. This shit is more. Okay. I was about to get mad as fuck just now, bro. I swear to God. Let me pull this up. This is my fault. My fault. Chat. Go to YouTube. Show you how to. We don't need to restore nothing, bro. Your channel. Uh. So we live. We live. We live. We live. We live. We live. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, chat. I know I'm like really. Actually, I'm really fucked up today. Here. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it off. 1 second. 1 second. I just want to open my photos up. I don't want y'all to see nothing. Videos up just so we get them up.
Where I was a victim
Shut
every
your ass up. We ain't say to even fucking play it. We have two videos up at the same time. That's the real question. Nah, you just it's gonna be selected. Alright, so we alright. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Put the display camera back. Yo. Get this, yo. Get this queued up. And then, oh wait, we gotta go back. Do we? Then no, we do something. Alright. Now, put this full screen. Full screen. No, we still not hooked up all the way yet. Okay. Hopefully this shit still pop up. Shit. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, boom. Oh, wrong shit. Boom. What's good, your boy? Cube to the motherfucking G-O-D. Yes, see me. I'm wearing the same hat I got in the picture. Shout out to Freddie Duco slash Shadow Legend, Shadow whatever, man. We still wearing the merch to this day, bro. It's a nice, comfortable hat. It's his other brand. He branched out and do like a car league or whatever. But shout out to Freddie and shout out to Q's ENT, man. Hey, I got the same sweater on too. I got the same sweater I'm wearing right there. Um, so what's good, bro? We here today. We will probably have to do a quick like go pick up something real quick, like somebody about to drop some shit off, pull up, talk to the plug. You feel me? Um, but hope everybody's having a great. Oh, crazy, the mic's not even on. I'm tweaking. There we go. Mic is on now. Let me see. Make sure I ain't tweaking. Yo. Alright. I don't know how it was sounding beforehand. I don't even care. To be honest with you. I just know now. That shit working. That shit working. That shit's working. Bitch. That shit working. As y'all can see, we don't got our chair in here no more. We don't got our little roly poly chair right now. We got the couch here. We had company over yesterday. Had a great stream yesterday. It was like 5 hours. Go check that shit out. Shout out to Breeza and Zero for pulling up. Yesterday. But enough about the channel right now. Today we were trying to get into the podcast. If you haven't been there for our last 19 podcasts, welcome. I call it a podcast because eventually it will be more of a podcast where we have people on here and more things to talk about with other people, more topics to talk about with other people. But I call it a podcast now because it's more of we're in the practicing mode of when we do actually have more viewers and more people listening, we get a message across every time. And I won't lie, that's my main. I think that's what a podcast is. A podcast is where you go on, you speak into a microphone, and you try to get some type of message across to the people. You try to get some type of lesson or some type of help, no matter what it is. That's what I feel is like a podcast, real. Like you'll listen to a podcast and you get information, some type of information, whether it's something you learned, whether it's something you already knew, or you gain some type of knowledge. May not be the knowledge you wanted today, may not be the knowledge you wanted yesterday, but I'm gonna keep making these podcasts because I feel like there's certain things I always want to talk about on my platforms. And made it this far, so this is what we finna do. Today we are talking about being a victim. And what I mean by that is like in my case, and this video is gonna be talking about relationships mainly. And I'm on that kind of like tip too, but I'm talking about in general. I feel like you can be a victim in so many ways by putting yourself in so many bad predicaments and not making the right choices, and also not taking accountability for the things that happened after you making the wrong choices, or saying the wrong things, or not listening to what somebody said and feeling the way you want to feel. A whole bunch of different things. We're gonna go based off today's video. We're gonna try to keep this kind of short and quick. No, I didn't work with the mono. This shit. I'm just unplug it since I'm not using it. To all my fans that's wondering like, oh, where's the sounds and soundboard stuff? I could honestly get an app and I do the same thing, I think. But this soundboard is supposed to be using for the podcast now, but you know, I don't have no headphones that go into the back of this that also use like you have to have a headphone set that can be used as a mic as well. Like you can have a microphone as well, but you need a headphone set that has like a microphone to pick up the things in the headset or some shit like that. I don't remember. It's a lot. It's not a lot. It's a little bit, but it's stuff I haven't got to yet, and stuff I'm trying to get to. But yeah, back to saying like we have I think 2 videos today. One of them's about being a victim, and then one of them's kind of just being more like talking about. It's not even really about like it's just really like it's like 45 seconds. The first one was 45 seconds, and the second one's like 45 to a minute long, right? And it's really just gonna be it's something I thought about today because I actually have had relationship issues in these last couple years and had a lot of self-reflection moments. where that's why I also posted that, like, if you see the picture, like, it's me in the gym and looking at myself in the mirror. I've had a lot of reflection. I had a lot of time to reflect on myself and my actions. See if anybody in the chat. My fault. I didn't mean to read your message, gang. Hey, shout out to Jada Goddess. Shout out to Zero. Appreciate y'all joining in here today. But there's a lot of things I've always just been thinking about. As I'm talking about, even as a kid, like I could go. I'm gonna do it one day. I'm gonna do this one day where I'm gonna go back on my old Facebook and embarrass myself. Maybe when I hit like 300, we hit like 300, 400. Maybe if we hit like, I'm gonna say if we get like 60 to like 70 views on one of my podcasts, I'll go back and show y'all like the younger me, like I think I was like 16, 17 when I was making certain videos about like I was just talking about like how you should be and how things, like how I think things should be in a relationship slash holding yourself accountable, all this other stuff. I'm talking about when I was young. I'm talking about, I showed y'all videos on my YouTube when I was in 2020, but I'm talking about 2015, 2016. Like I've been on the same type of time, where I wanted to create videos and talk about things I found interesting or things I felt like I had a heavy hand in, like being a part of. You know what I mean? Like even being a victim, playing victim roles, not understanding how to take accountabilities and hear people out, hear females out there in relationships and stuff like that. You know, there's a whole bunch. But today we don't got too much to talk about. I just want to let y'all know it's really gonna be about a couple videos and how I feel, maybe one or two stories ish. But this one today, I won't lie, is really for the women, and I'm pretty sure we don't have a lot of women in our community that like is either old enough to even understand this or hear it. But hey, I'm still putting it out there for the guys too, because I think it helps the guys just as much. My fault. I don't know why I had this up this whole time. I must be high. I had this up the whole time. I was just looking. I know what happened. I started looking at myself. And it's not even on YouTube either. We should have this up by now. All right. But yeah, like it's just been a lot on my mind too, of late, and I be on Instagram a lot. I don't own TikTok, bro. Like I really do not own TikTok. So like some of this shit might be coming off TikTok to Instagram or whatever, but I don't own TikTok. So I be on Instagram, and Instagram be sending me shit through my algorithm all the time, and it's like them niggas be knowing exactly what I want to hear. But let's see what we're talking about today. Let's get to the video for today. At least for the two videos that we gotta get to today. I'm not gonna make this long. I'm telling you, it's gonna be short.
Where I was a victim every single time there was something wrong with a man. A man could say one thing and I'm like, well, you did. Remember when you 6 months ago said da 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 da? And that's how I used to be programmed to be. It is so important as a woman, if you want to have a sustainable relationship with a man, to regard his feelings. We disregard men's feelings so much, and it's so foul to a man because he no longer can express himself. He can't tell you how he's feeling. He cannot literally be in a relationship where he can actually approach you and say, yo, this happened. I feel this type of way, because the first thing we're going to do is be like, well, what did you do last week? Did you take your shoes? Did you? And we do not apologize. Women in jobs where I was a victim.
Like, and not every woman don't apologize. You know, sometimes women can apologize, shit like that. But I was talking about the victim part. So The part that really be the part that struck me the most about this video when I saw it is just the fact that a woman majority of the time is even talking out and just really saying about how she used to be, or even how she realizes now after looking at herself or going through therapy, whatever it was, how she would play victim or like not even listen to her man when he was trying to come to her about a situation or have a conversation. And I feel like that a lot of times in general, not just in relationships, but in general, like somebody can come to you with a problem and you can immediately not want to deal with that problem or even have that because you maybe weren't even thinking about it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And somebody comes to you about a problem about yourself, about you, and you didn't think it was a problem. You still have to, I think at certain points in time in your life, you still have to look at certain things and how people may have felt. And what you may have did in that moment. Even if it wasn't something you may have did, or like I said, if somebody came up to you and was like, yo, I really didn't like the way you had bumped me by accident or whatever, and just say you don't say sorry, but you'd be like, I didn't bump you. What about maybe you need to watch where you're going more? You know what I'm saying? Like you take it in a whole nother tone when someone came to you with the whole like energy of like, I was watching where I was going and you didn't care. You thought it was nothing. But that person came to you with a problem that think that you may have caused. And like I say a lot of times like, oh, like nowadays before I mean, like nowadays ever since I've like had went through this last relationship that I've been through, I won't even lie. I notice and I look at myself in the mirror more where I sit here and be like, there's a lot of times now if I do say like we keep the same scenario where I bump into somebody and I didn't notice and that person was to say something to me, my first reaction majority of the time now is I'm sorry. I don't want to make somebody feel like they weren't validated, you know what I'm saying? Like even if I feel like even sometimes when it's not convenient for me to be apologizing to you, even if I didn't do anything or I noticed I didn't do anything, I feel like if you came to me with a problem that you think I did, especially if it was like really like something really inconvenient or minor, oh my bad, I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't mean to bump you. I ain't mean to make you feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it'd be different though when somebody really came at you with some energy, like, "Yo, fuck out of here, nigga! You bump me and you want to hit me and shit, like you want." And I say my bad, and you still going with it. That's a whole nother thing. I done apologized and I done kept my, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But to get back to what she was saying in relationships too, I feel like it is a lot for y'all women. Y'all need to be more understanding of like how men may carry themselves and may want to be honest and have a conversation with you. So playing the role of blame and playing the role of victim can cause a lot of stress and tension on men side of their minds. I want to say like because a lot of women think about their feelings and a lot of women think about how they feel when certain things come to them and certain issues and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of times in my case, let's talk about me because it's my podcast and shit like that. But my cases have been more like I am trying to just talk about how I felt about a situation. I'm not blaming or trying to like kick you out or like there's a lot of times in my relationships I'll be having conversations and I would feel like this where she would open up and say those exact words where hold on, let's just replay it where she would say
Them every single time there was something wrong with a man. A man could say one thing and I'm like, well, you did.
Remember when you did said, remember when you said, this is the shit that be coming to me like where I'd be like, all right, I should make a podcast because I've had this happen to me. Like it's not even like I want to sit here and be like bragging or be like it's just something I feel like a lot of people should learn from and try to be more cautious of. Like, I don't be thinking to myself, let me get this mic a little closer. Like, a lot of times when I see these videos and stuff, I just think to myself, like, damn, like, a lot of my niggas probably are going through the same shit. A lot of my people is probably going through the same shit. Like, even the other day recently, to all my people who know me and shit, my ex, not my last, but the other one, added me back on social media, tried to. I didn't respond. I left it there. You feel me? I forgot why I was bringing this to the light. I brought it to the light. Because she was also one of those people who would do said things like this, who would say said things like this. But she's one person who actually has changed me for the better in my eyes. As I looked at it, as I looked at the ad, and as I looked at it, like, and just thought to myself, like, I'm not worried about you anymore. I'm not thinking about that anymore, because she was so much of a victim in so many ways. Every time, everything was a victim mentality. Everything was but how come, and how come you, and how I can't. I just never felt like I could really speak my mind a lot of times, or tell her how I feel, without her having an emotional / reaction to whatever I did, and it had to be her way, or a lot of the times the highway. And I just wanted to be happy, and then realize how much, like, not being able to have someone to actually speak to or be able to vent to about everything was causing me to be sad, or I guess you can say causing me to be unhappy, or even just causing me being able not to be able to look at myself and be like, I don't deserve said things, because the way she would reverse and make me think about how I was said time ago, but can't talk about how we're being today. So, like, kind of fixating on her feelings and not fixating on mine and how I feel in the moment has led me to be one to make a lot of these type of podcasts. And not just her, but my experiences with a lot of women, but her in general, especially because this year and last year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she tried to get back on both of my social medias. And I think it was like the year before or something like that. I added her back, but I didn't, like, never say nothing to her or anything like that. But I'm this one is really for the women, but and for the men too, though. Like, peep game when you're actually trying to be honest with a female or your significant other. Peep game when you're actually trying to have a conversation with her, and she is quick to respond with these lines. Well, remember when you did said such and such? Well, how come you get to do such, when you are addressing her and the problems with her, and she decides to try to reverse or flip it onto you? It is called a form of manipulation. In a form of gaslighting. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm using that right. Could be wrong about the gaslighting part. But still, it's just been something that's been heavy on my mind. Especially after she added me back and stuff like that. Like, all those, like, for me, every relationship I have, like, as soon as I could, like, say the name or whatever, like, most of those memories come flooding back. The ones, at least the good ones, and then, like, all the ones that have me sad, and the reasons where I'm at to this day. Like, majority of the times when shit's come back. So when she did add me back, it was just like a whole bunch of these type of memories came back. And it was funny because, like I said, this was on my like you can go back, but like I could, you can go back in time, but like I've been saying this shit for years that I'm not the type to lie or like. And that's what I was saying about. Oh, this is why I mentioned the video, because I was like talking about back in the day about relationships and how you should be honest to your significant other, and you should have no reasons to hide anything or whatever. But a lot of times what gets in the way is a lot of some, like for women, a lot of times insecurities, and a lot of time your own emotions and your own feelings. Men too. Men do get insecure too. I won't sit here and act like men do not get insecure and do not have moments, but men are more of a protector and more of a, we already understand men more so than y'all understand men. So we are on a protective tip majority of the time. We are trying to preserve what's ours because we know there's a fucking whole bunch of hungry ass bears slash wolves slash dogs out there. And I think a lot of women don't take that serious enough. That men are don't really care about your relationship status or not. You know, so arguing about something that he's trying to at least he's opening it up to you or talking to you about or trying to come to you about something. I feel like those moments need to be taken more serious on the women's aspect, because those are the times where you guys neglect to listen and hear us out and then say we never speak or try to tell y'all how we feel. And I've lately been seeing a lot of like, even like the what's them shits called, like, you know, like Blind Love and Love is Blind, and like those shows, like you sometimes get to see like the people afterwards, and nowadays like with clips, and it's just like a lot of those have been popping up where like a lot of men have lately been like you just never listen to how I feel and da 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 da, and like I feel like as a society, like men get a lot of slack for even having feelings, as far as with men nowadays, like, and I don't really care too much about the he's toxic or he's sassy. Like I don't even give a fuck about none of that shit. That shit don't sassy. If you look up the word too, that it's kind of funny because sassy means you got a smart mouth. Sassy means like you're somewhat confident. Da da da. Like there's a whole bunch of different words, and the reason why this generation just don't make sense anymore when it comes down to certain parts of the relationship and holding you to certain standards. Shit just don't make any sense. So let's just play this video one more time.
You 6 months ago said da, 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 and that's how I used to be programmed to be. It is so important as a woman, if you want to have a
also, it kind of threw me off when she said I was programmed. I mean, like, not to call her for every word, but she said she was programmed. And it bothered me a little bit. 'Cause I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, who programmed you? Because, like, a lot of times it does start at home. It does start within the home with the moms and dads. But what do you mean you were programmed to be that way? It almost sounded like she fake took accountability just now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It bothered me when I heard that. Like, what do you mean you were programmed? Like, it sounded like you were taking fake. Let me hear this one more time. Let me try to hear this back. I was programmed.
And that's how I used to be programmed to be. It is so important as a woman, if you want to have a sustainable relationship with a man, to regard his feelings. We disregard men's feelings so much, and it's so foul to a man.
Also, so yeah. So most women and most guys don't understand when you disregard someone, in period, when you disregard someone's feelings, even men, when you disregard a woman's feelings, you start to make her feel unheard. And everybody who starts to feel, pretty much, I believe most people who start to feel unheard and want to normally leave you, or they start to distance themselves normally. And the reason why is because it's no point of talking to someone who isn't listening. And a lot of people who feel like they haven't been listened to have already been through some type of trauma where they haven't been listened to before. A lot of the time. But most people don't know about their traumas and don't think about their victim mentality, stated of mind when they're in it, like while they're in it. But shit. My point when she said this, it's foul to men. I was saying too, like I feel like a lot of women don't get how men do need a safe space because men don't have these conversations with each other that are very deep, or they don't always get the information they need from one another because a guy don't sometimes have the same experience, or he might just say some guy shit, or maybe sometimes just guys just don't be on the same page when it comes down to women and relationships. A lot of the times, like a lot of the times, your boy is single and he isn't ready for a relationship, or he's already married, or he had kids. A lot of the times, the mismatch between like guys' ages and like women's ages would be like totally different and different discrepancies. Anyways, point being is that a lot of times we don't get a chance as men to talk to each other, like on a deeper level about some of the things that we would talk to our partners with. And I think that's what women need to take more into appreciation and accountability and account that a lot of men are doing that. Like we are coming to you and actually giving you some exclusive uh feelings and some exclusive stuff that we don't normally give out to other people other than like our mothers, or like, you feel me, like a close friend, somebody who we can call, somebody we can trust. So a lot of times I think women over think about, like, over, no, not even overthink, they underthink about how we feel and how often we express our feelings. Let's go there. I think that a lot. Like they don't think that we express our feelings a lot, but we have expressed them a lot of times. But I think a lot of women get caught up with like what she said. Well, you don't remember the time when you thought about how many times when you did, but we're talking about today. We're talking about right now. We're not talking about like you're an awful person. We're just trying to tell you that we felt some way about a said thing. Like, and sometimes not every man knows how to talk to a woman about that because, like I said, most times men have friends, right? We have friends that when we even try to explain that to them, they don't even know because they haven't been there. There's like, well, in my experience, I have a lot of friends that just never really had great relationships. A lot of my friends seem to be either some type of hoe, got too many baby mamas, or just single still. Like they're literally just single, don't got no girl, still trying to find one, still on Instagram looking at the same ass cheeks and all that shit. Like it's all the same type of guys around me. And even just like looking even on Instagram nowadays, like I see a couple people done grown up, but like it's still, they still be having the same mentality when you have a conversation with them sometimes. So it's easier for us men sometimes to speak to our women about a lot of things. Like it could be about another woman. That's like, I feel like for some women, y'all don't understand how good it would feel for us men to talk to another woman about another woman, to understand another woman, because it's like we be out there in the world and something may happen, or a woman may do something or whatever, and we come back to our lady that we trust and we know for sure shouldn't feel some way about things if we're opening up and being honest. For her to get upset and disregard how I was feeling about today, or feeling about a situation with cause like, all right, for instance, my ex, the ex one that just added me back. Like I remember back in work, I would used to like, I can't even bring up a female's name, you know what I'm saying, without her being upset, without her having an attitude on her face and kind of like, all right, so I'll tell her the whole story. Yeah, so I'm at work. Lady at my job, older lady, what's her name? She had helped me with this because I was new and I didn't know how to, you know what I'm saying? I remember it was like I was new to a job or something like that, and I didn't know how to do something. I told her that the lady helped, why you had to ask the lady to do this? Why can't you? I was like, there was nobody else around at the time. Everybody else was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff, but like became a whole investigation about a lady instead of just being like, oh, okay, I see, you know, at least she helped you and like, you know, like, and sometimes you just trying to talk about your day, let alone, and she comes with the like aggressive questioning about a woman and not listening to the story. Like the main point of the story was that I got help and I finished throughout the day. Like the main point of the story was that like somebody came and was even nice to me on my first day. Like fuck what gender it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to actually listen. Like that's what the point of the video, if you read up at the top, it says, are you truly listening to your partner, or are you just waiting to defend yourself? Like, are you just finding something? Are you finding a way to, you know, just be defensive? Are you finding a way to just, you know, not hear him or listen to him? So like I said, this one was low key for the ladies, and the next one is still low key for the ladies as well, and for the men as well. To think about these things, like to think about the lady you have on your arm all the time, like to really think about she's causing you these types of issues, if she's putting this type of stress on your brain. A lot of the times us men don't think about these kind of things. Or you might see the video, like it, and then continue on, but do you go back in your mind and really think to yourself, have I had to deal with a lot of that? Like as a man, have I been stressed over these type of problems more than I've been stressed over money issues? Have I been stressed over, because that's me right now, I feel like I've been stressed over this type of issue in my whole life more so than like focusing on money in my career and goals. And that's just due to my own wants and needs of like love and stuff like that. And right now it's like it's just kind of very much clear as day of how I should be moving and why I do move the way I do. Sorry, I haven't checked the chat in a minute. I've just been going hard. No, okay. Wait. My fault. Shout out to Alex in the chat, man. My fault, bro. My fault. I ain't see everybody in here yet. True. Shout out to Alex, our first donatee. He said game time, great topic. True is true. I like a what the fuck did I say? Anyways, the audio is static. Audio bad. Okay, all good now. Okay. Wait, how long ago was that? I don't even know. Yeah, but just taking the time. I'm talking about on both sides. I want to talk about both sides though. Just taking the time to listen to your partner, because she's saying that. I'm not saying that men haven't done that too. Men do it just as much as women. This trying to play devil's advocate, but I'm talking about in my cases, it's really been on a lot of my sides, where I'm getting that type of reaction, but in general, on both sides, you have to be opening and listening, not to just what you want to hear and the things that you want to get upset about. You got to be, if you're willing to be with somebody for the rest of your life, which is we're going to be talking about in the next video, you're willing to be with somebody for the rest of your life. If you're claiming to want this person to be in your life forever, you have to be willing, and that's why I say partner, But you got to be willing to listen to a lot of things. You got to be willing to eat and take a lot of things that may happen. As long as it's not cheating, and as long as it's not fucking like, you know, them going outside and stealing money from you or like betraying you in some type of way. And even some of that could be forgiven, but it's certain things, you know, in life that you kind of got to put a barrier, a wall over, or a boundary. But your partner should pretty much be able to, your life partner or your, you know, sometimes people are taking these relationships a little too serious, but if you do plan on taking a relationship serious, these are the things you should be knowing. If you're not taking it seriously as much, this is not the podcast, or not the, this actual episode is not for you. This is for people who's right here. Yo.
Been there 5 minutes, bro.
All right, buddy.
I just want to let you know.
All right, bet. Good looks. Okay. He said 5 minutes. So yeah. Like, oh yeah, marriage. If you're taking a relationship seriously, then like, yeah, this is where you're at. This is where you should be at in the podcast. But this episode, you know, if you're single, I'll maybe do a singles episode for sure. But this one's for the partners, for the people who's thinking about getting married, for the people who also are thinking about themselves and how they should feel when someone also makes them feel like they're not being heard or not being listened to, if that makes sense. This is for the people who feel like they're not being heard, not being listened to in a relationship. This is for the people who also feel like, you know, marriage is for them, but they also feel like, I gotta do me. I gotta do me, Lucius. I gotta do me. This is the next one. We're not gonna.
You are leaving a marriage. First of all, I applaud you for making a decision for you and doing what's right for you. It's hard to pick yourself when you become one with somebody because you're one. And then all of a sudden, when things are bad, you have to just choose you. So I went into a business that I was passionate about, which is decor and hair, and I'm acting now, so.
Well, Portia, after listening to all of that, I see why you had 2 failed marriages. We should encourage women not to leave a marriage. Of course, there are exceptions like abuse and other things, but when you say to women out there,
yo, I'm not gonna lie, every time I see this video, I don't believe he was there. Like, every time I see this video, I feel like he was put there. Like, I feel like it was edited in, like, because their reactions and the I was like, yo, ain't no way he said this shit on live television, bro. Let's make sure you heard what he said, because he do speak with a little bit of slur.
all of that, I see why you had
and hair, and I'm acting now, so.
Well, Portia, after listening to all of that, I see why you had 2.
I watched this video. You know what's funny about Instagram? They resurface so many videos sometimes, and I got lucky to God was just like, yo, make the podcast today and put this one on there. Not for no like I said, it's just for me more so. A lot of these podcasts are for me and things I've been wanting to talk about, and I'll be thinking that other people might have a little bit of interest or maybe should understand. This podcast number 20 is always gonna, I don't know, it's just 20 to me. We're gonna have a lot more podcasts. I'm down to have, I think this year, before the end of the year, I'm trying to have, I'm not even gonna tell you what I'm trying to have. Anyways, it's just, this nigga's funny to me. I think he'd be in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. All right. He said, let's run it back one more time.
Here, and I'm acting now, so.
Well, Portia, after listening to all of that, I see why you had 2 failed marriages. We should encourage women not to leave a marriage. Of course, there are exceptions like abuse and other things, but when you say to women out there, I applaud you for making decisions for you and doing what's right for you, it's not all about you. You make decisions that's good for the outcome of your children, which is to grow up with something called a father in the household. I mean, a study after study shows that kids with both parents do better with grades, friends, and future, okay? So I think with that advice of yours, you're basically encouraging women to follow your path, sacrifice their kids to play the main character, maybe have a career if they're lucky, yet still end up miserable like Whoopi.
Bro, I've watched this video already like twice. Today. And I still can't help but to laugh because he say everything with the most nonchalantest face. Like Whoopi. The way he threw his hand, he said, like Whoopi. So, I'm probably gonna have to go down. I'm going downstairs. I'll be right back, chat. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Nigga said I'll be here in 5 minutes. See no car. Anyways. But yeah, man. This nigga, he kind of cooked, bro. I won't even lie. I'll see when he texts me. He'll probably text me here. I won't even lie. Like, it's just the way he said everything to me in this video was funny. But the thing I did not like was what she said was, it was very like, she didn't get it. I don't know what she meant fully, but all I know was when she said, you know, things get hard, I gotta choose me. Sometimes you just gotta, she's like, I know it's about us, but sometimes I just gotta choose, we gotta choose me. You know, she pointed to herself and then was like, that's why I'm doing this and that's why I'm doing this now. He was like, well, I can see why you have 2 failed marriages. This is like, yeah, you chose to be selfish. She has 2 kids. Oh, wait, he's here. I heard his car. Oh. Alright. I'm back, chat. So yeah, man. See, let me go check the chat. Okay, we got 3 people in this bit. Alright. Rewind this video one more time. Just for the people.
You are leaving a marriage, first of all, I applaud you for making a decision for you and doing what's right for you. It's hard to pick yourself when you become one with somebody because you're one. And then all of a sudden, when things are bad, you have to just choose you. So I went into a business that I was passionate about, which is decor and hair, and I'm acting now, so.
Well, Portia, after listening to all of that, I see why you had 2 failed marriages. We should encourage women not to leave a marriage. Of course, there are exceptions like abuse and other things, but when you say to women out there, I applaud you for making decisions for you and doing what's right for you, it's not all about you. You make decisions that's good for the outcome of your children, which is to grow up with something called a father in the household. I mean, a study after study shows that kids with both parents do better with grades, friends, and future, okay? So I think with that advice of yours, you're basically encouraging women to follow your path, sacrifice their kids to play the main character, maybe have a career if they're lucky, yet still end up miserable like Whoopi.
So yeah, let me make sure we just go back to her part. She said,
Sudden, when things are bad, you have to just choose you. I went into a business that I was bad. You have to just choose you, because you're one. And then all of a sudden, when things are bad, you have, it's hard to pick yourself when you become one with somebody for you and doing what's right for you. It's hard to pick yourself when you become one with somebody because you're one. And then all of a sudden, when things are bad, you have to just choose you.
I don't know who the fuck agreed with her in the back with the but I felt like everybody was just, it's because the way she was looking at everybody and hoping that everybody was agreeing with her, but low key it just sounds stupid what she was saying. Because once you become one, you become one. You don't separate back from, you're not supposed to separate. You can't be like, once you become one and things get hard, I'm supposed to go back here and be like, it's me. Realistically, things get hard and you're supposed to stay as one. That's what made y'all one in the first place. That's what was supposed to make you guys one in the first place, that you guys even would get through anything. I think that's why I think a lot of couples don't even work out nowadays, because once they feel like it's just a little too much out of their comfort zone, just a little too much work. No. In this generation, I blame the school, because school allowed y'all to go somewhere other than home and experience real life interactions, okay? Like real life kids and dealing with like everyday schoolwork, doing work, having to do some work. Instead of being online and shit. But other than that, what I was saying is though, she has 2 failed marriages due to the fact that she's chosen herself and chosen money and career. And that's fine if you think that money is going to keep you happy. But a lot of times people in this world need, and I'm going to say this again, a lot of time in this world, people need at least one person. At least one extra person to help you out through your life. No matter if that's you made him, no matter if that's like you found you made a business and you found an assistant and he was your assistant, but then he became your friend and y'all start working together. Whether that's a random hobo on the street, like there's somebody in this world for everybody, and you need at least one person, especially when you got 2 kids. And yeah, of course, like you can have all that. It's just funny because she actually started talking about how good she was doing, or like the stuff that she started to do after everything. But it's like, yes, bitch, you got time to do all that if you decide to leave your kids behind, or if you decide to leave the father figure behind. Yes, you're gonna have hella time to do what you need to do, but you're still, at the end of the day, telling everybody to run away from their actual responsibilities and to run away from their actual obligations to the other partner, especially after marriage. She's talking about marriage, and he was talking about marriage, especially after marriage, let alone just being together. We're talking about marriage. You are supposed to be to death do us part. This bitch been doing said. I don't know if he was supposed to. This would make me laugh and made me feel like it was fake. I'm like, is he supposed to air that out there? Like, I feel like that's something she told him in the green room, and he was like, after hearing her bullshit, he couldn't take it no more. Like, like, I applaud women. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like, oh, because, like, shout out to Jada Goddess in the chat. Talking about some, like, you know, I get it. Like, she said, I got what she said. Like, it's dumb, but she was saying, like, I applaud you for making a decision, because it do be hard for a lot of women to make certain decisions when it comes down to if they were actually happy in a relationship or happy in that marriage or not. But realistically, if you got married, you're really supposed to be in it. No matter how you feel, you're supposed to stay in it, unless somebody was abusive, unless there was a real cause. But really, it's to death do us part. But like, that's why I think a lot of people shouldn't rush into marriage. I don't think you should rush into it. If you're not 5 to 6 to 7 to 10, almost 10 years plus with somebody, like, at least knowing them. Like, you don't even got to date them for a full 10 years. But say y'all started off as best friends for, like, 2 years. Then y'all, like, started dating other people. But then y'all came back around and fought with each other, like, you know, some years later. And then y'all stay fucking with each other. You know what I'm saying? For 10 years. Y'all could get married. Especially if y'all been through shit. Y'all already knew each other's backgrounds a little bit. Long as shit don't get too hectic. Then y'all get married for sure. Yeah, so y'all not winning another Super Bowl. This year. Alright. Get out of there. Hurry up. Before he text back fast. Alright. Went back to the chat. My fault, chat. But yeah, I don't agree with her with that. But she's probably one of those people who wasn't listening to her man. Like she said, now she wanted to do her own stuff, and she got her own, like, her hair. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at her business or mean to laugh at her. It all sound like stuff that men would say when they really just wanted to be in a relationship. Like, yeah, I got my own stuff. Like, men like to have their own shit and be in a relationship. Like, men really do be wanting to have, like, their own little shit settled down. It just be so hard to trust some of y'all, because y'all be having this whole, I could do it on my own, and that's, for me personally, I've only had this problem with in my actual case, I've had this problem with a lot of more colored women. My mom always asks me, like, why you always with Puerto Rican or, like, Dominican or, you know, whatever, Spanish. I don't know. I just feel like they be wanting to start a family. They be really wanting to start families. They be wanting to take care of the families. They have good family backgrounds majority of the time. I mean, like, not all of their family be good, but they just have good family value background. Let me say it like that. But that's not the point. The point being is that, honestly, making a choice to get married is the biggest choice you could probably make, because you need to be able to make a commitment to that person. Whether that person held up or you held up, you still was supposed to make a commitment to that person. You still chose to wait until that person died before you depart from them. Well, honestly, when you die, you still technically still married. You're a widow, but you could do whatever because that person ain't here anymore. I don't know how that fucking go. I ain't never been married. But I feel like she's just one of those people who also would tie back into the last video. That's why I kind of put them together. I know it's kind of like two different, but it does have to do with your partner at the end of the day. It does have to do with the person you want to be with. And this one just was a little more deeper. Like this one had a little more back and forth to it. You feel me? Because he gave his side of it. He gave the stats what kind of shut everybody up. And the reactions from everybody else is what made me laugh in the video. Because everybody's like, like, look at her face. Her face was like, she was trying to smile and shit, but she wanted to say something smirky. Last time we're going to watch this video, and then we're pretty much done with the podcast for today. I'm going to give y'all my last little...
So I went into a business that I was passionate about, which is decor and hair. And you are leaving a marriage. First of all, I applaud you for making a decision for you and doing what's right for you. It's hard to pick yourself when you become one with somebody because you're one. And then all of a sudden when things are bad, you have to just choose you. So I went into a business that I was passionate about, which is decor and hair, and I'm acting now, so.
Well, Portia, after listening to all of that, I see why you had two failed marriages. We should encourage women not to leave a marriage. Of course, there are exceptions like abuse and other things, but when you say to women out there, I applaud.
Okay, yeah, so this is why I fought with him. He said, yes, of course, there's excuses, and he said, yes, there's not even excuses, my fault. He said, yes, there's reasons, there's valid reasons like abuse and other stuff like that. He told you right off the rip, there is a valid reason. And it's abuse, this nigga, he robbed your mom. This nigga did he crashed cars every weekend. This nigga get fired up and flood the house, nigga. Like anything, like he's dangerous to be around. He's a menace. Anything like those things, he's harmful to you. Those are reasons why you leave a man. If the man, I don't care how much the man, if you got with that man in the first place and then y'all finally get married, like this personal, but you get I don't even want to, for me, never mind. You get married to a man and now that man be like, you first when you was married to him, he wasn't yelling as much, but you got married to him and then he started yelling a little bit more, but he never put his hands on you, but like y'all never had to call the cops either. Like, it's either you decide you want to go because you're uncomfortable, which is she was talking about making the choice, or you stay because you know you made this decision in the first place. And that's the point where I think a lot of men have not. This is why a lot of men haven't filed for divorce a lot of times. A lot of men haven't went and got like the paperwork, and a lot of men stay up in, what's it called? Women be filing for divorce, and that's a fact. They said that the stats, even with him, he was talking about the stats, the men in the households with living with a male in the household, those are all true. That's very much true. When men are raised by everything I love. I'm not gonna say names. My boy, this is the last story. My boy and his mom, I swear, kid you not, first time I ever met these niggas that lived down the street from me, Literally. I'm talking about, I watched that nigga literally do wrestling moves on his mom. I'm talking about Stone Cold. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, his mom. I've seen the nigga jump from, like, on top of the couch, do a flip. I watched, now, you think I'm bullshit, I watched him jump off the top staircase, and land on his mom. Mind you, his mom probably, like, at this age, I forgot how many kids she done have, but I think she was damn near, like, 30, 40. She definitely, like, 40. She was, like, 40. Now, I kid you not, one day, I'm older. You know, as I'm older, I'm getting older. I think I was, like, 16, 17. Kid you not. Same kid. I see running down the street. He also used to talk to his mom crazy. Mind you, like shut the fuck up. He was talking to him crazy. But he was from Ghana. But once he started learning English and stuff like that, it's all over for him. Anyways, to make the story go faster, anyways, I'm sitting outside one day. I don't know if I was smoking or not. I wasn't smoking at 16 though. I was smoking at like 17, 18, 19, 18, 19, whatever. Nigga running up my street. He lived around the corner from me, but he was running up my street. And it's just, I happened to be outside. He's like, yo, Quentin, please, Quentin, help me. She trying to kill me. I'm like, who? Around the corner, here comes, he fast as a fuck. He was already down the street, shoes barely on, running like a true African. I'm not lying. I put this on my mom, I put this on my sister, I put it on everyone I love. Nigga had blood, if I'm not mistaken. It was blood on his hands or his face. Blood here, like blood like somewhere like right here. And the look in this nigga eyes. Like, quit it. She trying to kill me. I don't know what I'm about to do. His mom know exactly where I live. What you about to do? You know what I'm saying? Stay with us, nigga. But I was outside. He didn't care what the fuck. He just needed help. And I was like, but he knew he was going to get away. His mom was going to catch him. I don't know. Anyways, it was nighttime. This nigga was running. His mom had the knife in her hand, coming still down the street. It was kind of a blur after that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. After that whole situation, it was kind of a blur. But I ended up seeing him the next day. He was like, nah, everything's straight. But he did have a cut on his hand. He had some band-aids and shit. Guess him and his mom worked it out. And you know, he's going to his dad's house. He hated going to his dad's house. Anyways, point I was trying to make about that story was that a lot of the times, and this was my first experience, there was many more after. My point of that story was that a lot of the times when men or boys are raised by a single mother, he turned out great, don't get me wrong, but they have more tendency to lash out, be more aggressive. They have more tendencies not to give a fuck about what's going on. They may sometimes have a tendency to be more feminine. They sometimes may have a more tendency to not play out more as a man and play out more as a woman. Depending how good the mother was towards them, depending how, you know, it all depended on the way the mother was raised. But I'm saying in most cases, after they leave the home, there's just stuff the mother couldn't teach him. Not all of men. There's some men that learn, you know, and you know, some men go out to other, you know, they venture out to other men and have, like I said, have conversations. But like a lot of the times, most men do not become as successful as, I'm saying, majority of the time, as successful in single parent homes as they do in 2-parent homes, if I'm not mistaken, based off research. I remember having this conversation with a couple people before, but as he even said in there, most people, most of the time, they become more successful when they have two parents homes because it's a balance. You need a balance in a household. You need balance in your relationship. If I can't come to you and express my feelings, what make you think I'ma care about how you express your feelings? If you ain't listening to how I express mine, it can't be received the other way because I don't know how to. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to express how I felt. Now I feel like we getting nowhere, and that's how you get nowhere, and that's how you get into arguments, and that's a lot of times due to the fact that a lot of people don't know how to take accountability just for how somebody may feel. It's not a big deal. I feel like feeling like don't get how somebody feels and what you did mixed up. What you did is what you did. They felt this way. Nobody's bringing you to jail. Nobody's calling the police on you. Learn how to have a conversation, not a debate. Learn how to have a conversation with your significant other about faults, red flags, dislikes, likes. Have the moments and have those times to have those conversations and listen to them. Not listen to don't listen to the issue. Listen to how they're feeling and what they're trying to convey to you. Because there's a lot of times I feel like I can have a conversation with somebody, or like some of my dogs, I can convey my issues with my dogs. Like, yo, bro, I ain't like the way you was moving like that. My bro be like, my bad, bro. You know, I ain't never want to fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying, bro? I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Apologize, you straight up, boom, dap up, cool. And then sometimes even if niggas do it again or some shit like that, either you just stop moving with you. Men majority of the time just stop moving and hanging out with each other based on like if I don't like the way he was moving, if not, and then they end up fighting a lot of times. But whatever. But I'm saying when it comes down to your partner in general, keep it to listening and keep it to being straightforward and honest when you are telling them how you feel. Don't try to sugarcoat shit. Don't try to be like, so like today what happened at work was Jimmy and I were just in the elevator and we're having a conversation about what's it called, and then he reached over and grabbed this book, right? You told me this story, but the story really went over. He really grabbed my hair. He really went like this and grabbed my hair. And then I looked at him and then he was like, "Oh, I fuck with you and I like you a lot." You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be sugarcoating shit. Tell niggas straight up exactly what he said, so then niggas could feel better. Even like, but you gotta be in the right too. If the nigga touch you and you shit like that, you gotta tell niggas. But don't be sugarcoating shit for your man or whatever. Be honest. If you can't be honest and tell him the truth, then you might want to start rethinking about it. Like how the bitch said, before you get married though. Before you get married, we're not talking about this. You should be rethinking about your decisions about having this man in your life if you can't have certain conversations with him, even regarding the opposite sex, regarding your feelings and certain things like that. But today this podcast was about not being a victim. And the best way not to be a victim is to look at yourself. And what I mean by that is like, when someone comes, like I said, all right, and say your man, that whole situation where instead of like being sugarcoating shit, just say your man accepts the story that you told him. You know what I'm saying? Say he be like, oh, I'm glad you know, at least you didn't, kiss him or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, say your man accepts it. But say your man doesn't accept that whole thing and say he be like, nah, I believe you allowed him to touch you. I believe, I'm like, nah, bro, I am wrong for sitting there and like, you know, even make him feel comfortable. Be like, yeah, I was wrong for letting him even try to touch me. I should have been more aggressive. I should have even did this and that, but my bad. But if he keeps going and shit like that, allow that shit to sit because you done been honest. You done told him what it is, and it's up to him at this point not to play a victim. Like, you didn't, what I mean is, like, it's up to him not to be like, you done hurt me now, like, I can't believe you done let him touch you. Like, bro, like, I ain't let him touch me. I was in the elevator, this nigga grabbed my hair. I told her, I ain't see this shit. Like, you feel me? I already apologized. I said my bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at yourself. Look at what you've done. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you were the type to, like, I honestly felt some way, like, if I came to you, like, if you as a woman, you came to him and tried to tell him, like, yo, this nigga touched my hair and I ain't like it, I moved away. You feel me? And then if he want to play the victim role, like you done said something to hurt him, when all you done said was, you know, try to tell him how you felt today and what happened. You know what I'm saying? Those moments like that, and those moments and times like that, where you gotta take the time and be like, all right, yo, I said what I said. He's trying to be like putting some extra on it and play some role. Same vice versa for the men. Because for that role, kind of hard. I'm not great with examples right now, but I'm just saying. The point of being the victim in any situation, looking at yourself. Hold on. Looking at yourself for real. Take accountability for the things you done did, and you won't feel as bad. Instead of being like I said, like, if you sugarcoating this shit and not telling somebody, or like you like, oh, I wasn't, like, for instance, like I was saying, if instead of being like, if you were in the elevator, for instance, let's switch it. Men, you in the elevator, female trying to push up on you, right? Female is trying to push up on you while you in the elevator, and you don't push her off or whatever, and you allow her to do all that shit. But you come home and you don't tell her the truth, like you didn't allow her to fill up on you, and you know you don't know why. You know what I'm saying? That's just you being, what was damn. That's you playing a victim. My fault. My brain. That's gonna be you playing a victim. I didn't try to do anything. She just came and felt up on me. I was in the elevator. It was 2 walls and she just grabbed my dick. Like, that's you playing victim. Instead of owning up. Instead of looking at yourself and being like, instead of looking at her and looking at yourself and being like, nah, babe, so I was in the elevator and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of horny. She was kind of fine. But, like, I didn't want her to, I kept trying to move, but, like, I kind of wanted her to touch me. I was kind of nervous, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you being straightforward is you not playing the victim anymore. But you sitting here trying to dance around it and act like you kind of didn't like it, or you couldn't be more aggressive or assertive, or understanding that, like, this wasn't, you know, this not supposed to happen because you got a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? That type of victim mentality will also always make somebody feel more like they can't trust you, or like even small shit, like just opening up to, like, oh, babe, yesterday I felt like you could have washed the dishes when you had time. And then shawty be like, time? I was sitting here chilling with you, and you the one that made me feel like, I can't believe you. Remember last time and you didn't wash the dishes? I was just saying, baby, you had time yesterday. That's all I was trying to say. I think you could have washed the dishes. I ain't putting you in handcuffs. Like, it could be the biggest. It could, like the lady said, when things get harder, like, it don't mean you gotta just pack up and put yourself in a box. Nah, you gotta sit here and deal with each other. Like, y'all gotta really put that in a conversational piece for each other, for one person to understand, for each and one of you guys to understand. Sorry. But yeah, like, if y'all don't take nothing for today, like I said, stop playing the victim, bro. The victim role is made for people who actually have committed no crimes and shit like that. But if you were one of those people who like to nitpick the other person after they done said something about you, or they done gave you a little critiques, everybody may have a critique. Everybody has a flaw, and everybody is flawed. Be aware that someone is trying to say that how they feel, period. How they feel. You may not agree. You may not agree about how they feel, but they're just telling you in general about how they feel. Oh, I hear that. I understand. You don't have to accept shit in life. You can hear as much as you need to hear, though, and you can listen and respond accordingly. It's about self-control. It's about understanding your emotions, being somewhat of an emotional, intelligent person to understand too that this person isn't belittling me. This person isn't trying to diminish my character. This person is telling me that they didn't like the way I did something, or they may not have fuck with. And sometimes you may not have, sometimes you don't even have to give a fuck. Sometimes you don't have to give a fuck about, but you can consider, if this is, we're talking about relationships though, where you can consider talking to your significant other and making sure that they're good. Or like I said, you could walk away like this other bitch did. You could do both. But my goal today was not to play the victim. If you want to walk away, then walk away. But don't sit here and be acting like, you know, like you can't walk away. Like somebody holding you here. Somebody holding you against your will. Somebody's forcing you to, you feel me? Like, babe, I'm telling you, I just want you to wash the dishes. Why did this become, when I was on Maury last week or some shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, keep it real, bro, and keep it straightforward. Keep it to the present and not to the past. I'm gonna say that right now. When you arguing and talking to your people, when you arguing, or if you even having discussions or conversations, try to keep it to the present, not the past. So yeah, stop playing the victim. And if you're getting married, you're in it for life, man. Unless somebody's beating you, robbing you, trying to kill you, whatever, you in it for life for a majority of the time. And it's better off to have two parents in the household, and a father and a mother, to be specific. And I mean an actual father and a mother in a household. And your kids may or may not be great, amazing kids if you maintain a great, positive relationship with your significant other, and an honest and trustworthy one. So I have been Q to the motherfucking GOD. I'm going to see y'all on the next podcast / live stream, which should be soon / video / whatever we got for the content this week. Yeah. Shout out to Jada Goddess. Shout out to Alex, our first donatee. He had donated another $100 if I didn't tell y'all before. Shout out to Zero, Jada Goddess, and yeah, me. And shout out to probably Chris, anybody else who popped up and joined today. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, stop playing victim, man. Peace. Yo.